Good morning, everyone. Let's have a look at the charts to see if everything is moving according to plan. So this is the Ethereum fractal which was given to you from the past few days. So it is performing according to plan so far. The 16th is presenting itself as a higher price than the day before. Yesterday, the 15th of July, it was impossible to predict this pump. It's not in my system. I will show you the daily time frames for Ethereum. So yesterday was a wood rooster. It had 58% historical probability of closing on a red. So I do not claim that I can nail every single move on the market. It's simply, the wood rooster is simply not a day that is known to Ethereum as a day of big pumps. You see this note that I left here? This is from yesterday. I put this note here. Before that, there was no historical occasion here on the day of the wood rooster that Ethereum has ever pumped. There was nothing extraordinary on that day, and it had a 58% probability of closing on red. So I could not have predicted that pump. Okay, today you were warned well in advance about today's high probability of a green candle, and the next high probability of a green candle is tomorrow, because in 2025 the fire pig has been performing very high for Ethereum, 58% probability of closing on green in comparison to before. Before that it was 55%. And then we have here a historical occasion when we have done a top on the 17th, and then it has done a bear reversal from there. So we are alert to that, and I cannot tell you right now whether the top is today or tomorrow. The fractal, if you look at it carefully, it shows that the top is tomorrow. The stick is higher for tomorrow. But with these fractals, we cannot be 100% sure. If this looks like a top candle to you, this is your decision. This is as far as I go. This is as far as my forecasts go to highlight daily performance, but I cannot really tell jump in a short today. This is not a decision that I'm responsible for. Personally, I would not jump in a short today. I can put it this way. I would not, because the fractal is showing higher tomorrow, and also we have some other higher days tomorrow. No, the day after tomorrow, actually. Even the 18th could be a possible high. Right now it's looking lower, but there is that possibility that even the 18 may be higher. Let's have a look at the daily time frames for Ethereum again. So, oh, it's only 52%. Yeah, on a daily time frame, it's only 52% probability. But there are other events that are happening right now, such as solar flares, solar winds, etc. I'm tracking them. It's too long to explain, but they're bullish right now. And that bullishness may continue all the way until the 18th. So be very cautious if you want to jump in a short. Be very cautious with that. I mean, today is early day. It's only 11 o'clock in the morning. It's 10 o'clock UTC in the morning on the 16th of July. So be very careful here. If with opening a short, maybe a bit too soon, or who knows, maybe I will miss it. But yeah, you're responsible for your trades, guys. This is the best I can do, is just give you the daily closures here and the daily performance. Right. Oh yes, I forgot to say, all Ethereum subscribers received an email this morning, email number 15, and in that email I have given you the link for a video which is hidden from the public, and that it's on YouTube, but it is hidden from the public. And in that video, I'm explaining the second half of 2025 and also 2026, so you know the big picture. And also I gave you an upgrade of the Ethereum package, the most recent upgrade, because I know that most of you are not upgrading your daily time frames, so I'm doing them for you. You can see all daily time frames here upgraded. Wherever there was a pump, it has been entered here in the dates. I have reflected it in the notes. You know, it's a pretty decent workbook with these daily time frames, because they give us the cycles quite often. And here I have upgraded this section, that everything is quite neat here in this section. All daily time frames here have been entered. All monthly time frames have been entered. So the monthly time frames that you see up until this month. So this is how we're working this year. Now is the month of July. This is the only candle that is a forecast, and then the rest of it is a forecast. Up until this, they're the real candles. So everything that you see here is the real closing monthly candles. But everything that is in the future and the current closing candle is theory. It's just a forecast. And then I have added here the useful gods for Ethereum in this corner here. So when people are working with the package, this is only useful for people who have done the personal financial forecast. Knowing this, it will allow you to make better predictions for the monthly time frames and for the yearly time frames ahead. And I explain in that video, for example, how I used the REN element. In the video that I gave you the link yesterday, I explained something about it that is very important. So yes, the package is getting a very good upgrade. Every now and again it gets upgraded with something nice, and you're getting that upgrade straight away. Okay, it's in a very good shape, the Ethereum package now. I'm very pleased with it. Just the daily time frames, if you can imagine that a lot of work has gone into those, and not to mention that I actually hired someone to double check everything to make sure that there are no mistakes. So a lot of care and a lot of love has gone into this package, on top of the sweating. So enjoy it, everyone. That is for you, for the Ethereum subscribers. Right, tomorrow may be a top, and then we have a very big dump on the 19th. Be aware of that. Very high percentage probability of closing on red. Actually, I'm surprised it's not that high. It's only 55%. But guess why? Guess why that is? Because the ox is a very good animal for Bitcoin. That is why it's not that bad for Ethereum. Ox is enemy number one of Ethereum, because Ethereum is gold on all time frames, on yearly, on monthly, and on daily time frames. Ethereum is a gold. So the ox is enemy number one to Ethereum. You would expect here like 95% red. But no, it's only 55% red, because Bitcoin is performing quite well on the days of the ox. That's how it goes. Ethereum is still following Bitcoin on most time frames, as it is at age 9 right now. And then be aware that on the 30th of July, Ethereum becomes 10 years old, 1 year older. So Ethereum is expected that after it reaches 10 years of age, it will start behaving a bit more independently from Bitcoin. He's still a child to Bitcoin. You see, I use this metaphor not just like that. I have explained in video 1 to Ethereum subscribers, the relationship between Bitcoin and Ethereum is the relationship between a mother and a child, because Bitcoin is number 6 and Ethereum is number 9, and that relationship is sealed. There is very difficult to break that relationship. 6 is always the number of the parent, and you cannot get someone more caring than number 6. Guess who is number 6? Me. I'm number 6. You cannot say that I'm not caring and I don't like looking after people. Everyone who has subscribed for anything with me, they have been well looked after. So this is how we roll the number 6s. That is why Bitcoin is a caring parent to Ethereum. And that is why Ethereum is so attached to Bitcoin and constantly following her moves. But getting now a year older, it will contribute to more independence in Ethereum. There will be more, more following its own cycles after it reaches age 10. Also, age 10 is a very interesting age. It's very similar to age 1. Uh, New beginnings for Ethereum. The energy will be different. As soon as Ethereum reaches age 1 on the 30th of July, 14 days from now, we will see a different behavior in Ethereum, and maybe for the first time we will see this year, we will see Ethereum doing something different to what Bitcoin is doing. We have whole 2 weeks until then, so uh, I will have more time to think through what actually that difference may be. So this is it for today for Ethereum, and now let's have a look at Bitcoin. It's very difficult because I can post only one video a day, and if I cover both of them, then the videos become long, unfortunately, but that's how it goes. It has to be, some things have to be discussed. Okay, so let's have a look at the fractal first of all for Bitcoin. Moving according to plan. I have made the fractals very neat in the past 2 days. So the Chinese fractal is on top. The Chinese fractal is saying a local top today on the 16th, and then going down until the 19th, and then heading back up and making a higher top here on the 23rd of July. That is the Chinese fractal. I checked the accuracy as I promised, and it hasn't been very accurate. I checked several candles, and I saw that it hasn't been accurate, and I gave up. I just couldn't endure the pain of counting every single candle. So it's not a fractal that I can trust as much as I trust the eclipse fractals, but this is the only fractal that forecasted this pump here on the 14th of July. I examined the 14th of July very carefully after it happened because I didn't forecast it, and there was no way that I would have been able to forecast it, because on the 14th of July we had predominantly red closures. Look at that the historical closure was 60% probability of closing on red. The eclipses were high actually on the 14th of July. So the eclipses forecasted it correctly. There was a gun top, so that was two confluences on the side of a top, but everything else was bearish. And I'll explain to you what was my confluence that made me bearish for the 14th of July is that Lunar Day 19 is one of the most bearish days in the month, and also we have never had a top on Lunar Day 19 in the whole history of Bitcoin. So that is why, even if it was a green candle, I was not going to be surprised to get a green candle out of it, because the eclipse cycles forecasted a green candle, but not the top really surprised me, because getting a top on Lunar Day 19 is something that is new, never happened before. The tops on Bitcoin tend to be Lunar Day 24. not lunar day 19. Mercury aphelion, yes, that was a good indicator that Bitcoin will be closing on a green. But again, I didn't expect that it will be all the way pumping to make a local top. And it could end up even being the monthly top, we don't know yet. So anything else here? Moon trine Jupiter. Well, this is stronger. Moon trine the Sun is always the stronger behavior than Moon trine Jupiter. That is why I expected the 15 to be higher. Moon trine Jupiter is good, but not as good as Moon trine Sun. Let's go all the way. I mean, two bad aspects on the 15th and the 14th, square Uranus, opposition Mars. Both of them are as bad as each other. The one on the 15th is not worse than the one on the 14th. So yes, it was not possible. It had mixed confluences on that day, and with a careful assessment, it could have predicted a green closure, but not as far as those big pumps that made the top. Okay, so this is the most interesting here, is the Gann dates. That was the first suggestion for a top. 7/49 from the 5th of August. It's a quite serious Gann date. But because it's followed by two more tops by Gann dates, I could not really be confident to forecast that as a top. We have another top coming today, 10/49 days from the 13th of March top. That is a very old cycle. And then 4/45 days from the 20th of January ATH. Okay, so we have two more possible tops here given by Gann. Okay, so let's see what is happening in the next few days. Let's see first of all any historical notes here. On the 16th, on the 17th, we got XRP pump for tomorrow the 17th. And on the 19th, we have an ATH spike up on the 19th of July. Let's see if we can confluence this with eclipse cycles. Yes, they are confluencing that well with the eclipse cycles. Oh yes, and on the 19th we have 100% probability of a green closure, and on the 20th as well. So we have to be very careful here whether Bitcoin will make a small dip, whether Bitcoin will make a small dip as it is indicated here, or whether it will go straight up from here. It is very possible that it may go straight up from here. Coming back here to these dates. So for today we have 67 probability, 67% of closing on a red because Mercury is stationing. Mercury stationing is a nightmare. It's much worse than Mercury retrograde. And then from the day, one day after Mercury is retrograde, it gets bullish for 3 days in a row, 19, 20, 21st. For 3 days in a row, this is forecasting green closures and possible pumps. So it's too early to short. For those of you who have not shorted yet, who have missed that short, it's not a big deal because it's very likely that this is just a local pump, and it's very likely that Bitcoin may head up more from this data that we have here. Okay, so what do we have in the next few days in terms of confluences? We have 3/4 moon on the 18th, which tends to be bullish majority of the time, but it's a lunar day 23, which is not a great lunar day. Still, that is the higher priority here, that 3/4 moon tends to be bullish. And then we have a lunar day 24, which is it's known to me that it is normally a top lunar day 24. So is it possible that the top continues after that? Well, everything is possible because we have the moon declination topping all the way on 22nd of July. Yes, the moon declination is topping all the way then. Then we have a very bullish day on 23rd of July. So we have to be very carefully with opening the short positions. But what we need to know for now, I present here updates every day because it's very intense right now and it's difficult to remember all of this information. Even I have to keep checking these things. It's too much going on to remember all of this information in my head. So the conclusion is it's too early to open a short. Don't be tempted to jump in a short. Let's say if they pump today, it's unlikely because, as I explained today, Mercury is stationed, but at the moment it's looking quite good. This doesn't show slowing down in any way, so they may decide to pump. But be careful about that. It may. Do we have a fractal that is showing today to be a top? No, we don't. Oh yes, we do. The Chinese fractal. The Chinese fractal is showing today to be a local top. So see how it goes. If you get some very big pump that will create a bear divergence, then you can enter it locally only for a daily trade. But for a swing trade, I would say that I expect higher in the next days. Still, it is your decision. We don't know whether tomorrow it will close lower, whether tomorrow it will close this, it will follow this fractal, or whether tomorrow it will go higher following this fractal. It's very difficult to decide. Coming back here to the daily time frames, what is happening tomorrow, 17th of July? Yes, tomorrow is stronger. According to my system, tomorrow is stronger. And it's a lunar day 22 tomorrow, which is a very strong lunar day. Yep. The eclipses. Oh yes, look at that. The Chinese time frames for Bitcoin is 65% green closure for tomorrow. And the daily time frames. So we have much higher probability of tomorrow making it a top or a local top and being higher than today. So too soon to short right now. Okay, and then I will be back in touch with you tomorrow. Bye for now.